Welcome back, everyone, towards our next session on the second day of Automation Days Asia 2021. In the previous session, we started to introduce the concept of self-service portals and how automation can be used in order to design innovative services. And I'm extremely glad today to be joined by the two experts from Summit AI, who is graciously hosting and part of our sponsorship for this session, and that are going to showcase how you can work with artificial intelligence and automation to start defining innovative solutions. I'm very, very happy that I'm first of all going to be joined by Dev Ravinathan, who is the Regional Director for ASEAN and New Zealand for Symphony Summit AI. Part of this presentation will also be provided by Madhur, who is the Senior Solutions Consultant from Symphony Summit AI, and who is going to be taking us through the technical demo. I always sometimes jokingly say that whenever I don't know the technology anymore, I reach out to Dev and Madhur, who will show me how to configure things within Summit AI. It's an extreme pleasure to have you, gentlemen. So I know the first part of the session is going to be presented by Dev. Dev, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. Thank you so much for the introduction. It must be a long day yesterday and a very fruitful one for you, right?
Absolutely. But yeah. It's a real pleasure to have you.
Yeah. So good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking your time to attend to our product presentation and demonstration. I don't know how many of you attended yesterday. Yesterday, we had our CEO, Satya Vyas, who was talking about the 5 signs you need to automate your IT services. So Madhur and I are going to walk you through the presentation. And then, of course, we will dive into the demonstration of the product. Thank you. We have a very interesting solution based on IT, artificial intelligence, driven by IT Enterprise Service Management Suite. It unifies the key processes of IT service management, IT asset management, and service automation. Very easy to use, easy to deploy, and easy to integrate. The solution has got both cloud and on-prem. For cloud-based, we are hosted on Microsoft Azure. A little bit who we are, Symphony Summit. We are part of the Symphony AI portfolio company, which is the largest private B2B company in the AI solution space. And some of the awards which we have received here is Gartner Peer Insights, Customer Choice, which we received the last 3 years in a row. This is based on the actual users of the product, and this is done across the globe with all the ITSM members. Here we have got the highest ratings. And this is the customers which have rated us across various parameters. I will show you in the subsequent slides on the parameters they have rated us. We are featured in the IDC MarketScape as a major player, and we've been winning the CIO Choice Recognition Award for the last 4 years in a row. Here it is the CIO voted us for the preferred IT operations. And the Best Tech Brand Awards, which we received from Economic Times early this year. From the service management hygiene standpoint, we have 12 processes certified by Pink Elephant. They certify globally certified tools like incident management, problem management, change management, knowledge management, and so on. Now, we have 240 plus active customers. We are a vertical agnostic product. Now, what I mean here is KPMG, Deloitte, EY are consulting companies. We have Toyota, Honda, Volvo, Suzuki. These are on the automobile segment. And of course, we also have Digi, Axiata, DTAC, Grameenphone, we have Indus. All of them are coming the telcos. We have Sapura Energy, Chandrarsi from the oil industries, and the BFI segment. We have Kung Sri Bank from Thailand, Hong Leong Bank from Malaysia, and many other banks from India like SBI, Kotak, and so on. So I also like to say Cybiant is our partner. So any of you like to have any inquiries or product demonstrations, or you want to do it in the later part of this after the demonstration, you can always reach out to them. They'll be happy to support you there. Dr. Ramesh Wadhwani is our founder and a serial entrepreneur, very successful one. Invested $1 billion fund focused on building the next generation of artificial intelligence and machine learning applications across multiple verticals, be it healthcare, financial services, retail, media, defense, enterprise markets, and so on. Symphony Summit is headquartered in Los Altos, California. We've been expanding rapidly across the globe. We have customers across Americas, we have Europe, we have Asia Pacific, Middle East, and Africa. Now, this is a slide I was also talking to you in the first slide, where we have Gartner Peer Insights choice, which we received the last 3 years. This is the way the customers have rated us across various parameters: willingness to recommend, product capabilities, evaluation, contracting, integration and deployment, service and support. And we are vertical agnostic, so you have telecommunication, technology, consulting, financial services, healthcare, consumer, manufacturing, the various customers we have in various verticals. So I take a pause here, and I'll be handing it over to my colleague, Madhur. In case you have any questions, you can always ask, or you can always ask in the later part. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, which is a great introduction to the company, Dev. I really appreciate that. Madhur, if you are able to share your deck right now.
Yes, I'll share my screen. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, no, we still see Dev presenting.
Dev, I'll stop sharing.
Yes, please.
You able to see?
I hope my screen.
Yeah, it's coming up right now. Great. Yeah, you're full and ready to go, Madhur. Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sam. So, hello, everyone. Good morning. And we have seen the initial intro with from Dave about the company, Cybiant AI. Now, a slight intro on the products, the product lines that we have, and as per the topic today, we'll be focusing on the service automation area. So as we see here, there are multiple offerings with respect to the service management, your employee service management for non-IT functions like HR, finance, etc. So the services related to non-IT functions can also be onboarded on the same platform. And handling the asset management and the service automation, that's the key agenda today. Now, on top of service management, we also have introduced the AI capabilities, the AI layer, which enhances the user experiences from different personas who are going to work on the application. Now, here, when the users are logging in, they'll be able to interact with Cindy. Now, Cindy is our AI-enabled digital agent that helps to interact with the user, understand their sentiments, their the emotions behind the utterances or the sentences they're writing to her, and based on that, she is going to respond back as per the training provided to her with respect to all FAQs, helping them with the knowledge articles more precisely, and help them with raising their respective services, and even help them to automate that, to provide that self-service and self-auto resolution experience to the respective users. So with the help of Cindy and the service automation, the users need not to wait for someone to get assigned to a ticket and then work and getting things resolved. If in case it's all approved, Cindy and service automation layer are going to ensure that the user gets their respective their respective requests resolved automatically. Let's have a look going forward in the next how the traditional approach works with respect to different incident logging or the service request logging approach. So what happens is, as a traditional approach, when the user comes and works on the service management platform, they are going to see how the incident is logged and how exactly different engagements with respect to initial investigation happens to understand the issue in more details, in more depth. And finally, the assignment is happening on after all the engagements and initial investigations. and it will be given to the respective technician to give further diagnosis, investigation, and then provide the solution. Now, with this, whatever we are doing, that's a traditional approach of handling any request or the concern that is getting raised by the user. Now, the problem with this approach, this traditional approach, is that the human agents, they spend more time on the tasks which are repetitive in nature. So what happens is, because of that, they are not able to spend more time on the tasks that may be requiring some thinking and that make them more productive in the environment. So with this, all the activities that they are doing with respect to initial diagnosis, evaluation, and probably providing the solutions in the same manner, in a repetitive manner, manually today. So with the help of the solution that we have is to offload the tasks, the L1 tasks, L0 tasks to Cindy. And Cindy, as a result, is going to handle all those things. And because of that, the humans, agents, they'll not be spending more time on repetitive tasks like they're doing today with the traditional approach. And they'll be able to spend more time on the activities that require thinking and be more and finding some permanent solutions to certain problems which are recurring, and therefore help the overall organization to decrease the number of incidents or request occurrences coming in from the user. Now, what Cindy is, let's have a quick peek into what Cindy is all about. So Cindy is an acronym given which stands for Conversational Interface and Decisioning Engine, and it's an AI-powered digital agent. It helps you to quickly log incidents, service requests on behalf of the user while they're conversing with her, and they'll help the users to edit and check their status, keep a track on their open requests which are there. Users can interact with Cindy via chat interface, or there are some connectors with some collaboration tools which can be used. So leveraging the technologies of AI, machine learning, and natural language processing, it understands the intention of the user and then determines the best course of action and execute accordingly. So that's a quick view and intro to Cindy. So what happens is it provides the user best experiences 24/7. So users, when they're coming, their intention is getting understood. They need not to be robotic while speaking to her. Cindy understands their natural language, the way they are forming their sentences in the natural way that they write their sentences. She understands that and then map the right catalogs, service requests from the as per the configurations done and the training done, and then respond to back to the user. Now, with our past experiences with our existing customers, we have seen that we are able to resolve up to 30% of the tasks instantly. And it's an auto resolution that's provided in some key areas, like they want to enable some services with respect to VPN, Wi-Fi access, or enabling them for shared folder access, installing some software. They're requesting for some software to be deployed in their machines, and creating some application accounts, providing them some access. So these are some typical examples for the auto resolutions from the end user experience perspective. Now, as I mentioned, that the multiple channels which are there for Cindy, so user need not to log into the web application of Summit in order to interact with Cindy. There are multiple channels through which they can interact with Cindy and get things done. Now, from the user interactions, we will allow me to skip this a little, and we'll be seeing this in a live demo, how the users are interacting with Cindy with different use cases on case-to-case basis. And here it's talking about the capability, how the complete flow works when Cindy comes into picture, and with respect to auto resolutions and providing the self services and leveraging the service automation layer, how we are able to resolve 20% of the issues of the user, and 30% are getting auto resolved through the respective automation cases that have been configured for them. Now, let me look at the benefits of Cindy. So Cindy, as an AI-enabled digital agent, she's available 24/7. So user need not to wait for the human agent to come and help them with. They can just, instead of going with the traditional approach of navigating into different screens and pages of the portal, they can just interact with Cindy with the click of a button, and that is what we will be seeing in the live demo after completing this particular slide. And overall, you will notice how Cindy is able to reduce back and forth conversations, which happens between the users and the human agents, and enhances the user experiences with a significant reduction in resolution time, leveraging the automated solutions which are getting provided to the respective users. Now here, let me just let me stop this slide for now, and let me switch to the live demos instance to show you how these things are actually working. Just allow me a minute. I hope my browser screen is visible to all. And here, this is the self-service portal that Dave and Ian have been talking about, that there should be a self-service portal for the respective users. So it's a one-stop shop for them, and at the same time, it is enhancing the user experiences as well. So here, as we see, this is the end user dashboard, which is the self-service portal, and it's highly configurable in nature, where you can define your own themes, the background image, and the overall template as well. It's part of the configurations here. And here we see the icon for Cindy. So as we know that traditional approach, users may be going to, they will be going to different navigations by following different menus here and then logging the incident. Now we will see how that can be changed, and that experience can be given with the more better working on the applications. So as we see the conversations here, so this is a conversation which I did with Cindy some time back, that, "Hi Cindy, how to configure Outlook." She understood the intention over here, that what is the intention behind this, and based on that, she's populating some further questions to get through with this, and asking me what is a device type here that on which I need to configure this Outlook. And when I selected phone, she accurately gave me 3 options with respect to Android, iOS, and Windows Phone, so I can try to resolve it myself as a self-service. Now, this is a use case where I'm just looking for some information from the system. So I can probably try to do it myself as a self-service, and I can follow the steps which have been given in the knowledge article over here, or I can refer to the embedded video which is embedded within the article. And if that helps me, I can close my conversation there. Now, if I look at the different use cases of getting this interactions forward, if I'll just take another example over here, that probably there is some issue with respect to my existing services which is not working. Now, based on these trigger points, whether it's something against the incident where something needs to be self-healed, or in case it's a request which is coming in which needs to be provided with the auto resolution. So in both the scenarios, Cindy is going to leverage the service automation layer to provide that solution or to trigger that self-healing capability. And over here, as we see that when I say my VPN isn't working, she intelligently gave me one article as an auto suggestion, which I can probably try to resolve it myself and take things forward. And then I can, if that helps me, I can close this conversation or go ahead and log a incident. Now let us look at the scenario where I'm requesting something which is more inclined towards the service automation use cases. So when I say over here that I need access to shared folder, So when I say that I need access to shared folder, you will notice that in different scenarios that I have been talking about, all I'm doing is just drafting my sentences in the normal way I do, and talking to Cindy. She's understanding the intention and then asking the right questions based on the intent identification technique it leverages on the natural language processing technology. Now over here, based on the configurations done for the service requests, she's asking which department folder you want to access. If I'll take an example for HR, and I want to access something from HR folder to which I don't have an access right now, she gave me what all different shared folder paths which are configured in that folder and which is the one on which you need the access. And when I select one of these folders over here, she is going to ask me what type of access you want. Is it a read or a write access? So it's all asking these questions based on the mandatory fields which needs to be filled in order to provide that service automatically. And once I answer all those questions, she's going to log the service request on my behalf. And automatically, once this SR will be approved in case there's an approval workflow in between. Once it is approved, Cindy will understand that it is approved now, and accordingly, trigger the automation layer to provide that solution and give me the access to this shared folder. So as a user, I need not to wait longer to get some human agent assigned to my request, which I have, and then someone taking a remote session and providing me the access, doing the changes from the backend at the server level. All those repetitive tasks of the engineer can be eliminated over here. And as I see here, then if I show you a quick glimpse how it looks like from the technician's perspective. So if I'll open one of these SRs, one of these service requests which have been logged, I will see that this is a standard detail page for a particular service request which has been logged by a user. And here we have a tab for automation, for orchestration. And here we will be able to see what all different automation scripts are getting triggered in a particular sequence. And once it will be all done, which is a matter of a couple of minutes, and once that is done, the user is going to get the access, and this entire SR is going to be closed or resolved as per the configurations done. So that's how different use cases are there. So there are 100+ use cases which are available as part of our action library with respect to your data center automations, your end user automations, to enhance the respective experiences to different departments. This is something which can be configured depending on the use cases that the companies want to automate in their respective organizations to achieve the highest ROI, the better ROI, so their teams can work on something more productive. And at the same time, when I'm interacting with Cindy, all those different areas with respect to tracking my tickets which are already logged, all those things also can be handled with just a conversation over here. So you must have experienced that as a user, when I'm working on this application, I'm interacting with Cindy. I am not going in different screens, different menus to get things done. All I'm doing is interact with Cindy on the web chat interface by doing my normal conversation like a human agent. And I can keep a track on my tickets which are already logged, for which I can probably ask Cindy to let me know the status of my ticket. So whatever recently logged tickets I have, which I have logged lately, I'll get the list of those respective tickets. Could be incidents, could be requests, and I can take respective actions on the selected ticket number to take further actions with respect to further escalations, or I want to remind something, provide more informations there. So those things can be all handled with just a conversation here and the click of a button. So that's how the overall experience is enhanced for the respective users. And here, the status, when I click on that, as I mentioned, I can take these respective actions if I want to cancel it, update it, escalate it, or send out a reminder to the respective technicians if they are aligned. So these are different cases how a user is coming on the application, interacting with Cindy, getting things done, and the auto resolutions are getting provided leveraging service automation solution components. All right. Any questions over here? We can probably, I'll take a pause over here and we can go with some questions. If you have any queries around it, some questions around it.
Yes, I saw one question coming in, Madhur. So first of all, thanks so much for already showing us this presentation. Could you show how it would work from a backend perspective? So how are these automations triggered? So suppose that we're requesting something like here. Where does this service automation workflow, where is it configured? Where is it set up so that you can see some of that as well? Because I think if you look from it from a self-service portal perspective, this is the user point of view. But obviously, it's also interesting to see what is going to be, the way that you can structure and configure this, because that's really where the automation is going to be coming in.
Definitely, Jan. So I hope I've just switched back to my slides to give that perspective of which is happening behind the scenes over here. So the same use case of shared folder access, where we're talking about the automated fulfillment of the request, and the user who is interacting with Cindy, they ask for the assistance, and these are different personas which will be there in the entire cycle, where there's a requester or the end user, there's an approval who is approving that access request, and then Cindy and automation which is happening to provide and automatically fulfill that request coming in. So to have a quick look, what is happening in the backend? So here, as we see, the requester raises it. It goes through the Summit AI server, ITSM server, where they're interacting with Cindy, and Cindy is understanding and asking the right questions with the requester. Once that is completed and all approved, it triggers a query to a child server. We call it as Proxy Server, which is basically in the backend talking to different servers which are needed to find the right security group and add the user to that particular security group on different file servers which are there based on what shared folder access the request has come in for. So it's a job of the proxy server in the backend to interact with the right domain controller in the data center and access the right file server, and then find the right security group and add user to security group. So there are multiple things which are happening in the backend, but all happening within a couple of minutes post the triggering of the automation layer. And once this is completed, it sends a notification back to user that you have been your access has been granted, and then user can go and access that folder without any problem. So that's the backend in-action workflow, how that particular thing is actually happening with the help of multiple communications between the server, the proxy, and the data center servers to provide that solution automatically. Right. So this is the backend action, and just to look back at different benefits and the functionalities which are there with the help of service automation. So basically, it is helping you with automated service request fulfillment. So there are multiple requests that may be coming in from the user, and no one has to manually put in time in order to fulfill those things. It can be automatically done with the help of service automation. There could be some scenarios with respect to task executions in a scheduled manner, in a particular frequency that it has to be executed automatically. That is something which can be handled. And in case there's an remediation that has to happen, that's a self-healing capability, where against some incidents which are occurring, some remediations to be provided or self-healing to be done, that is done automatically with the help of service automation. And with this overall, it accelerates the service delivery, the user experiences, and also the agility, service agility that is getting increased with the help of this layer over here. And if I just highlight some other features of this particular service automation component, we're talking about the open framework. So as I mentioned, that there are 100 plus use cases which are part of our action library, but it is not limited to those 100 plus use cases only. It's an open framework where you're leveraging different languages, which can be your PowerShell, your Python, the multiple languages which it supports. So you can write your own automation scripts as well and execute that in your environment. So that is something which is supported with the help of within this service automation component. And as these are different scripting languages which I was mentioning about the PowerShell, your VB script, Python, Perl, Bash. These are different scripting languages which are supported. Your executions of the workflows which are automatically happening at the time of creation or updations of your respective incident tickets or service requests which are coming in. So with all these executions of the workflow with respect to the automated work orders creation that has to happen in a particular sequence, that can be done, and it can be integrated with your cloud or on-premises systems or the applications that you are using existingly to automate those areas in those respective domains. So there are multiple cases which we have, use cases. If I talk about typical use cases, so there is something to do with add and remove users from some distribution lists. You want to create a new distribution list, or if you want to go for printer installations, local PC admin rights you want to get, and the entire onboarding and offboarding process also can be automated. So when someone joins the organization, automatically you can provide all the required access as per their roles to the standard set of applications. Your creation of email IDs, providing AD accounts, all those areas can be all automatically handled, which comes as part of your onboarding process. And at the same time of offboarding, the entire access which have been given can be revoked at the time of offboarding process when we initiate. So no one has to manually keep a track on what all access has to be given or revoked at the time of onboarding or offboarding. Some AirWatch access, some Windows services restart, password resets. These are some typical examples that the user normally comes to raise the request. So imagine if all these areas, and not just limited to this, beyond this, such cases which can be automatically handled and all the solutions can be provided automatically by the system alone, then how much time you're saving there for the respective employees who are receiving it as an end user, and for the technicians who probably be aligned for some more productive tasks, because these things are something which can be handed over to Cindy and service automation to handle that more accurately, securely, and provide that with a better turnaround time to provide that solution to the user. So these are different cases within the use cases of service automation. Okay. Any other questions?
Absolutely. So thanks.
I'll be happy to take further.
We've seen some very interesting questions coming in, Madhur. I'm going to share one on the screen right now. It's a bit more of an in-depth question, so that's why I'm projecting it on the screen right now. Okay. The question is coming from Mohammed Nazif, is how does the AI plugin communicate with other applications? Assuming if you have a bespoke ticketing system, can it be configured, or does it only work with standard ticketing applications available in the market?
Okay, so it works with any type of application, not just shelf applications which are available in the market. All we need is the right set of authentications and the user access that needs to be provided at the scripting layer. So when we are writing the automation scripts, there will be all these informations predefined with respect to which service account to be used, which URL to access. So all those communications will be a part of the prerequisites where we will be needing your inputs from the respective organizations, like which automation to be done and what all servers or devices or applications we are going to access to achieve that in the backend. And in order to do that, what all different integrations we might have to do with the REST API, or what all different access we need to define in the script. So automatically when the Summit proxy server is reaching out to those respective servers or the applications, it is having the right access to get that information and then execute that smoothly.
Good. Yeah, I think I see a thumbs going up, so I think that means that this question is answered. Another key question that I've been seeing so far is, can you showcase how to build a automation workflow? Mm-hmm. So is there any kind of workflow engine or something like that in the solution itself?
Yes, so we do have. I don't have access for that workflow engine right now to present it right away. But we can surely connect and show you the workbench, how that workbench looks like. So we can show you how drag and drops can be done to define that workflow in the automation, and how the scripts are written in the application in order to execute that, and define those configurations at what level, at what stage, what in with which particular automation script to be triggered. So that's all part of the configurations. We'll be happy to do a detailed discussions there, and we can connect on case-to-case basis.
Good. I think that answers that question. And then I see a last one coming in, and that asks, the use cases that are currently shown on the screen, are they pre-built into the solution, or is it something you would need to configure?
The use cases that I'm presenting right now, this is something which is part of our 100+ use cases that I have been talking about. So we have the foundational scripts, the base layer already ready to execute, with minor changes that needs to be done basis the environment, because though the base structure is ready, it needs a little modifications basis the environment of the organizations, which may differ from one organization to another. So only that minor modification is needed, but the base structure is ready for these use cases to be executed.
So can I summarize to say it's out of the box, but with some small alterations? Is that the way to look at it?
Yes.
Good. I think that answered all of the questions right now. Are there any other questions for so far? No, I don't see any coming in. Madhur, this was the end of your demo as well, right? Am I correct? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good. If there are no other questions, then let me start sharing what is going to come up right next. Let me have a quick look. Good. So after this next break, we're going to get started with a very interesting panel discussion, and I'm really looking forward to that. So we have a number of very good panelists from Malaysian Airlines, from Friesland Campina, and also all the way from Australia. We have our panelist Laurie, who is going to be joining and who is going to be talking about from the business leadership from a synergy group point of view. So don't miss this very interesting panel discussion, which will start again on the hour. So you have a short break in between, and I look forward to seeing all of you back at 12. Thanks so much for joining today, Madhur and Dev. It's really been a pleasure, as always, to present these kinds of sessions with you. We've seen some great questions from the audience, so I'm pretty sure everyone is going to be very, very happy with the results and outcome of the session.
Likewise, yeah, thank you so much. And
Thank you so much.
thank you everyone for your time.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure we're going to do this again. So thanks so much.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.